hands point in the wrong direction, they're willing to give 110% of themselves as long as humanly possible. We should all be thankful for that, because it's a rare breed that fits in that category. Now, the program they went through is a course that's designed to teach you methods to deal with anything you walk into. The course is approximately 270 hours, and it was over a 6.5-week period. Well, that part's over. Now you're entering the real classroom. I wish you health and happiness during your career, and I thank you for the opportunity to help you get started. Good luck.
By being a township fire department, we're a little different than what most fire departments in the state of Indiana are. Most departments are municipal departments that are controlled by a mayor and a public board of works. We in Perry Township are controlled by the township trustee and an advisory board. And at this time, we'd like to hear from our township trustee, Mr. Ed Buckley.
As a politician, they told me I had to keep my remarks short and sweet. And you know, that's kind of hard to do, but I'm going to do that tonight because we're here to recognize these new firefighters into the Perry Township operation. We in Perry Township in the fire department have the best, and we're certainly glad to see this fine recruit class come into what we consider the best, which is going to continue to be the best fire department in the state of Indiana. And it's with great pride as I, representing the citizens of Perry Township, recognize this group this evening and wish them well on their way to continuing to learn how to be firefighters. Thank you.
At this point, I'd like to introduce the chief of the department, Mr. William Clinton.
I too would like to take just a moment and welcome all the friends and family of these recruits tonight. They're embarking on a very special time in their life. They're starting a career that we hope is a very successful one. I'd like to take this time to thank the two individuals that did the majority of the training, Chief Stan Gibson and Captain Mitch Davis. They spent many hours. I figured they spent over 560 hours with these individuals since December 26th of last year. I also would like to introduce a few special guests here tonight. Without some of these people, this fire department couldn't operate near as efficiently as it does. I'd like to recognize the advisory board. If I call your name, would you please stand? Carolyn Grant, Harold Thompson, and Marvin Hawkins. We just this year began a merit board, which is a board that is responsible for overseeing the hiring and the promotion and the discipline of the fire department. And the following individuals would stand: Melinda Moriarty, Carl Cotty, Clarence Stout, Mike Branson. These people have dedicated themselves also to helping the fire department. We also have at this time Township Attorney Jim Crawford's here tonight. Thank you for coming, Jim. Our Chief Deputy, who sits in for the trustee when he's not here, is Jeannie Cooper. Jeannie. And I've also got some people here that without them, my job would be impossible to accomplish. I'd like for Larry Boyce to stand up, Rick Stanley, Earl Hunt, John Haynes, Ron Tanner, and Ray Skipper. I'd like to thank you people. And would all the firefighters in the room please stand up? These are a few of the people that allow this department to succeed and to be one of the finest fire departments in the country. And without them,
What we do in Perry Township is we ask the recruits to pick someone who's very special to them, because we consider this a very special moment in their life and in their career. We ask them to pick probably the most special person to them and have that person have the honor of pinning the badge on them. So as we go down the list, we will introduce who is going to be doing the putting on of the badge. Mr. Russell Futrell and his wife, Chris, will be pinning his badge on. Mr. Derek Bradburn and his wife, Suzanne, will be pinning his badge on. Ms. Candy Ashby and her husband, Daryl, will be doing the honors for her. Mr. Ray Piercy and his wife, Jeannie, will be doing the honors. Ms. Mary Lee Richards and her mother, Norma. Mr. Phil Hedges, presenting his badge will be his brother, Paul. Mr. Robin Nicholson and his wife, Connie, will be doing his. Mr. Brian Kim and his wife, Laura. Remember, it just goes through the clothing, not into the skin. And Mr. Andy Holbrook and his wife, or his father, Hiram, will be doing the honors for him. If you would please, pin the badges on them. We went to low bid badges this time, and we had a little difficulty. The badge that these folks have been presented represents something very important to the fire service. If you will closely look at the badge, particularly the one on their hat, it's a Maltese cross. And this is a symbol of the fire service. This cross represents the fire service ideals of saving lives and extinguishing fires. The fire service borrows the emblem of the cross from the Knights of St. John of Jerusalem, a charitable, non-military organization that existed during the 11th and 12th century. A white or silver cross on a dark background was adopted by these knights because of their charity towards the sick and poor in the setting up of hospitals throughout the Middle East. Later, they assisted the Knights of the Crusades through their goodwill and also through military assistance in an effort to win back the Holy Land. The Knights of St. John eventually moved to the island of Malta, the island for which the Maltese cross has been named. The need for an identifiable emblem for the Knights had become crucial. Because of the extensive armor that they were wearing in the battles, it was unable to tell friend or foe. They chose the cross of Calvary as their symbol, since they fought their battles for a holy cause. The cross was later called the Maltese Cross and represented the principles of charity, loyalty, chivalry, gallantry, generosity to friend and foe, and protection of the weak and service to all. During the Crusades, many knights became firefighters out of necessity. Their enemies had resorted to throwing glass bombs containing naphtha and sailing their war vessels containing rosin, sulfur, and flaming oils into the vessels of the knights. Many knights were called upon to perform heroic deeds by rescuing their fellow knights and extinguishing the fires that had been caused by these deeds. In acknowledgement of these feats, the cross worn by the knights was decorated and inscribed. This was considered the highest honor possible. The badge that these individuals have been presented with tonight, that they wear proudly on their chest, is a form of a shield. Again, tracing the history back to the Crusades, shields were used by the knights as protective gear to guard against the enemy. In a similar sense, the fire service acts as a shield, a form of protection against the enemy of fire. A rope or cord forming an unbroken circle and symbolic of unbroken service surrounds the center of the badge. Inside this circle are found the emblems of the fire service. Crossed ladders represent one who is extremely brave in battle. Crossed arms, axes, ladders in the form of the St. Andrew's Cross that Perry Township firefighters wear represents one who is the bravest and the best. And we firmly believe that those two happen. The badge also has on it an eagle, and the eagle is a symbol of courage and majesty. It is displayed with extended wings on the badge at the very top. This symbol signifies that the wearer is a person of authority, and that the open wings stand for charity and protection of the weak and those who are hurting. And we believe that that's what the fire department stands for. Because as we talk to fire service people throughout the world, they will tell you that our job is to save lives and protect property. And now these folks have become part of that. At this time, we'd like to have Captain Davis come forward to present a special award.
During the learning process, dealing with the emergency medicine and the rescue aspects of the course, one person always has to finish on the top. Occasionally a tie, but that's rare. In order to get to the point of the top, this person has to display outstanding traits as far as study habits, classroom scores, averages, everything's taken into account. We started this program with just an introduction into what happened as far as how the development of the services went on, then we moved into care, and all of it wound up to the point of who stood out among these people. This was very hard. This class was incredibly close. I was down to half percentage points when the finals came in. Andy Holbrook, top U.S. student in this class. Congratulations.
I want the class to realize that Mr. Davis said that ties are very rare. Remember that today? These folks had a couple individuals in the class that on the fire science side of it, we didn't know who the top student was until 11 o'clock this morning, because we had two individuals who were battling it out. And it just so happened that they sat in the same row. They seemed to finish their exams at the same time. And at times they missed the same questions. But every time that we quizzed them about it, they had a reason for it. In the fire science program, again, these folks went through 17 different modules, and probably took in excess of 2,000 questions. You see on the board over here the carpet that we have folded up our wall. For every module that we did, the class would go through and pick out the key points that they felt like they needed to know. And then they would make a flip chart of it, and we'd hang it up on the wall. And I think that helped their scores a little bit because we forgot to change rooms whenever we took our quiz. But as of 11 o'clock today, we finally had a winner. If there is such a thing, I consider each of these people a winner. We had one person whose score stood out above the rest, and it was just by very few percentage points that happened. Over on the wall on the other side of the room, we have their scores posted because we're very proud of each and every one of these people. We're very proud of the scores that they were able to attain. But this time I'd like to present to you the top fire science program person in this class. That's firefighter Mary Lee Richards. And we promised to give the recruits an opportunity for a rebuttal, so at this time you have your chance.
You'll have to bear with me, I'm a little bit nervous. I don't think any words can describe on how much excitement is going through all of us right now after almost 18 weeks of school. But most of all, we'd like to thank our family and friends for their love and support and presence tonight and sharing with us our joyous occasion. We would also like to thank Perry Township Administration, especially Trustee Buckley and Chief Click, for making this opportunity for us possible. We would like to thank our instructors for putting up with us, Captain Davis and Chief Gibson. At this time, I'm going to turn over the podium to Firefighter Holbert and Firefighter Cottrell to show our appreciation for our instructors. Chief Gibson and Captain Davis, if I can have them come to the podium, please.
As a token of our appreciation, we thought we'd teach you something that was a little out of the ordinary because our class has been a little out of the ordinary.
Thank you. Here we go, boys. You know,
ladder training at Southport, I believe Southport Middle School. We all got up on the ladder, and when we've seen this plaque here, this gift we are giving them, I think it hit it right on the head, because as you see some of the pictures back there at the top left, quite a few times we were in through the ladder and out backwards and everything, and we were all every which way. So when we see that, we figured that hit it right on the head as far as a good gift for Chief Good. Thank you. You going to do your video now? Yes. The Video Fest? Yes. Do you want to introduce it any?
Yes, I will. Okay. This is a real good opportunity we all had.
By the late John Cardinal Cushing of New York, and it was given at Meadows Day for the Fire Department of New York. And I think it really exemplifies a lot of what not only the folks that we have sitting up here in front of you tonight are about, but also the folks who are behind you. Dear God, help me be a good sport in this game of life. I don't ask for an easy place in the lineup. Put me anywhere that you need me. I only ask that I give you 100% of everything that I have. If all of the hard drives seem to come my way, I thank you for that compliment. Help me remember that you never send a player more trouble than he can handle. And help me, Lord, to accept the bad breaks as part of the game. May I always play on the square, no matter how the others may play. Help me study the book so I'll know the rules. Finally, God, if the natural turn of events goes against me, and I'm benched for sickness or old age, help me to accept that as part of the game also. Keep me from whining when I was praying or that I got a raw deal. And when I finish the final inning, I ask for no laurels. All I want is to believe in my heart that I played as well as I could and that I didn't let you down. And I believe that these folks have that type of dedication, but that's not going to happen with them. Another item that made this class very unique in its own right is that on January, these folks started on December the 26th, and the early part of January the 3rd, Derek, right in that area, around the 20th, less than a month into the training, one of the recruits got activated for Operation Desert Storm. And recruit Derek Bradburn missed the next 6 weeks of the training. Now, recruit Bradburn had came to us from a previous job as a firefighter, as a career firefighter, and he just returned 2 weeks ago. And so I feel like that that was a very significant time in each of our lives, the war and the coming together of our country because of what had happened. And I think that Derek needs to be thanked for the project that he took part in. Abraham Lincoln said, as he was a boy growing up in southern Indiana, that one night in November, a shower of meteors fell from the clear night sky. A friend was standing by who was frightened. But I looked up and beyond the falling stars, and I saw the fixed stars beyond, shining serene in the fulfillment. And I said, let us not mind the meteors. Let us keep our eyes on the stars. And as we face difficult and sometimes a dangerous future, let us look beyond the falling meteors of the present and look to the steady stars that have guided this country through so many difficult times. And I believe that that's what the fire service is facing today. Many times we have problems that seem insurmountable to us. And many times there are things that we don't understand, and people dwell on the wrong thing. But the fire service is alive and well. The fire service is probably, in my opinion, the greatest job that anyone can have. I think each one of these people, yesterday when we were talking to them, we asked them a little bit about their feelings about the job. And I was amazed that they came up pretty much with the same comments. But they look forward to getting up of a morning and coming into work. I hope that for the next 20 years of their life, they feel the same way. It's a wonderful job. It's been wonderful to many people. I'm sure that with the dedication that these people bring to it, they're going to give to the job as much as the job gives back to them. And I'm very pleased and privileged to be able to stand up here and also proud to present to you our recruit class of 1991. Congratulations to each and every one of you.
Before I dismiss you, I want to make available to you some literature and some information about an organization called the Fellowship of Christian Firefighters International. It's a non-denominational organization. I was getting the information from you earlier, but I wasn't able to. So if you have any questions, you can see me afterwards at the literature, or you can see me other time. Let's bow our heads.
Grandma, something? Tell me. Tell Grandma. Tell Grandma, what about it?
Huh?
Come on. Huh? Tell me all about it.
Tell her secret, Lauren.
I'll see.
Tell Grandma's secret.